We all know and love our favorite murder strain, sin. I know I do because I have this, and this absolute masterpiece saved on my phone. But do you know what else I love? I love playing Dead by Daylight because of the vast amount of killers they have to offer, such as Springtrap and Kaneki from different shows, which is like amazing. So I thought to myself, what if Sin was added to Dead by Daylight? And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Today I'll be covering what Sin's arrival to Dead by Daylight would be like, or what it would bring, like perks and skins and maps. I hope you enjoy my information rant, guess whatever this thingy is called. Sin's kit / abilities. Sin would have two different abilities, one being a passive and one being a one-time use transformation. Her passive would be based on her ability Callback in episode 8. Now, what this does is that it acts as a built-in smaller temporary sonar locating survivors when they are doing things like objectives or moving in general in her area, in her vicinity and stuff. I'm not really sure how big the range would be, maybe like 5 or 10. Like, I'm not sure because, I'm not a big behavior developer or something. But what I do know is it would be active for 5 to 8 seconds, which is kind of fair in my opinion, and it has a 20-second cooldown. Or maybe 15, I'm not sure. But when survivors get located, they'll receive the effect exposed, which basically marks them. So like a whole red marker, the killer can see them and stuff. That's what a sonar does. It locates things. In this case, it locates the survivors if they're in the range of her little callback thing sonar area. Now, Sin's transformation ability would be based on her Eldritch form from episode 5. It would take up to maybe like 3 seconds to turn into the beast with a cool ass animation, but I'm no animator gang. I can't animate anything. In this form, Sin's speed is decreased by 15%, but her attacks one-tap survivors. One-tapping like instant kill. So if you didn't know what one-tap means, instant kill. Okay, once she does this, if she lands a hit or down someone, she reverts back to a normal speed for 5 seconds to find another survivor. Then if you land another attack on a survivor or down them, it's the same thing. That's the whole transformation part. It will only last for around maybe 15 seconds, or maybe, I'm not sure, maybe a minute. Fuck it, a minute, bro. It lasts for a minute, and her basic attack would either be her, maybe like her hand thingy, just a hand, like the hag, how it uses her hand as a basic attack, or maybe some form of tentacle whatever thingy, or something similar to the singularity with a little hook, organic little hook arm thingy. That's basically it for all of the abilities. Skins. When it comes to skins for Sin, there is little to none options, and I mean there is none options, but I swear. She only appears in two different ways, honestly. In her worker drone before, the absolute solver, and then Syntessa. Like, those are the two only things I can really think of. Unless she does get some fan art from the community. Everything else is kind of, it doesn't really, I can't really think of any skins for her other than Syntessa and the worker drone. And probably the hard trip, she'll get a blighted skin like Springtrap and like all the other collab skins. But the skin for the blighted version would go hella tough, bro. Just look at this Springtrap one. You can't tell me it doesn't look tough, because like no way half this is like a little faceplate thing that's ripped off and there's a fucking skull in it. And maybe, just maybe, if they don't go with the Eldritch little ability thing. It could be a skin, but just be a very pay to lose skin because it's very easy for you to get spotted. Because how it's Eldritch, it's pretty big, Maps. Okay, if or when Sin is added to Dead by Daylight, she will definitely bring iconic areas on the Murder Drones universe to Dead by Daylight, such as Cabin Fever Labs, or the Cathedral, or maybe the Bunker. I feel like Cabin Fever Labs will be the better option because over potential and stuff, and because it is an abandoned lab, and there's like sentinels running around, there's dead drones everywhere. That would be so cool because Dead by Daylight is a horror game, and this is literally showing like shouting horror, horror, creepy, creepy. I think it would really go well. And another map, I think they could, another location they could turn into a map if they do a collab is the Cathedral. Like before the big battle in episode 8 or after, because both of them look pretty cool. I know there's like a map, I'm not sure what it's called. It does have some form of like a building that kind of resembles a church, but it doesn't look as cool. It's just like a bland church little map with like a building in the center. Kind of boring. But the post, like after the aftermath of the Cathedral, like in episode 8, that would be a cool ass map. You can't tell me that wouldn't be a cool ass map. Oh, I would pay good money to see that. But personally, I like Cabin Fever Lab. Sorry, I don't. You guys have your preferences and stuff. I won't, say anything bad about it because both all locations in Murder Drone is really good, except maybe Bunker. The Bunker, I don't think so is the weaker one. Now that I think about it, the Gala, the Manor, that one would be a pretty good map too. But I'm just running out of ideas. Now, that is a good one. Okay, that was a good one. Now, I couldn't make this video without making at least 3 perks because perks are the most important aspect in Dead by Daylight. Now, I've made 3. I'm not sure if they're any good, but I've tried to base them off Sin. All her abilities and what she does. Oh, I can't even really say that because I suck at this stuff. I'm very new to this type of shit. But here we go. The first perk is called Sentient Protocol. Now what this perk does is if survivors fail skill checks during callback ping, they'll receive a 20% speed decrease for whatever they're doing. Specifically, for example, if they're doing generators, if they're healing themselves, it would be a 20% speed decrease in doing that, making it longer for you to do stuff. And this will only last up to 15 seconds though. But that's kind of fair in my opinion. So to wrap what I'm trying to say, it's like I already said this, but if you fail skill checks, you'll receive this. And if you do this, like if you fail a generator or do a healing while she's using callback ping in her vicinity, like in area or range, I forgot to mention that. You'll be notified, like telling you that you have been detected. There'll be this like green pop-up thing. It will say like you have been located or something like that. Something like Sin would say, like something like you've been hacked, LOL, something like that. But that'd be something cool. Okay, that was the first perk. Now the second perk is called the Solver's Presence. Okay, this perk, I think this is a good perk in my opinion. So what this perk does is when a survivor is near the killer's radius, they'll receive exposed effect or a blindness effect for 3.5 seconds. This perk won't activate during callback ping or eldritch form, so you cannot use any of these or any perks really when you're in Eldritch form, so unless there's a few exceptions, I guess. So yeah, it won't activate during callback ping and Eldritch form. Okay, so if your health is below 50, you'll receive a blindness effect. If you're above 50, you'll receive both. So you'll receive the blindness and the exposed effect for 3.5 seconds, punishing players who might be maybe camping killer or maybe just punishing people in general, which is funny. Okay, that perk, I take it back. That perk is not the best perk. Now that I'm thinking about it. Now, the third perk, Mechanical Overdrive. Okay, this one's a good one. In my opinion, I'm not taking this back either. So you guys can flame me in the comments for whatever. So what this perk does is whenever you exit a chase, you will have 4 seconds of Bloodlust and your speed is increased by 2%. If you manage to land a special attack or basic attack, it adds up 3 seconds to your Bloodlust. And if for temporarily though, if you manage to knock a survivor when the timer resets, you permanently add 2 seconds to the timer. If you don't do any of these time like stuff, if you don't knock people, you don't attack people, the timer will stop. You know, it will end, and then you'll have a 20-second cooldown. And this is, you can use this in Eldritch form too, and you can use this while callback ping is active. Now I think this is a good ability because, like, specifically for Sin, sorry, when you're in Eldritch form, you are pretty slow, and if you only like hit one like survivor or something, you get a pretty good speed boost to find some other people. And I already mentioned that as our ability, but with this perk stacked on the top of each other, it's like they what's the word? They cohesively, like, they're really good together. Like this perk is specifically built for Sin. Now, with the perks out the way, let's get into some other stuff I would like to say. Now, you guys are probably gonna be asking, why didn't I mention her other powers? I mean, these powers, in my opinion, I'm gonna be so honest too, they actually suck. Knowing Sin, you know, she can make fucking black holes, she can like possess other worker drones and stuff, and has this cool ass, sick ass ability I didn't know. I don't believe it's still either, because I just read it off like those little fandom things. Her ability called biological manipulation, which is the ability to control or alter living organisms and their biological processes. Now, what are survivors? They are human. How are they made? Biologically. Connect the dots, bro. That's way too overpowered. And so is the black hole, and so is being able to control worker drones and hack into stuff. That is just way too overpowered. It wouldn't be very good. Dead by Daylight community angry. Say it's overpowered because it is overpowered. And the trolls will be crazy and how it's pay to win. And there'll be no ways to counter it, no new meta, no new nothing. No new nothing. And honestly also because of the law. The law states that like any like overpowered being such as like maybe Vecna from D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, okay, that's what it is added to Dead by Daylight. Because you know how he's all-powerful leech thingy, whatever he has lots of powers. So when he entered it, he did it willingly, by the way. He got this little symbol mark thingy from the entity, which is the thing that runs the realm. And what this symbol does is basically nerf him. Like, uses the nerfs are law, bro. The nerfs are law. So he can't escape. He can't overthrow the entity. He can't leave. So he's just stuck there. He's just chilling. That's with any overpowered like godly, multiversal, universal, whatever, omniversal, powerful being. Maybe something like Dracula too, because how powerful he is. He has his own fucking castle in the lobby when you're playing as him game, bro. That's aura. That's genuine aura. So that's the reasoning why I didn't mention those. And something else I would like to say is this like little her like a nickname thingy could be called the era. I did see someone comment that in a video. I'm not sure what it is. Once I find it, I'll like tag him or something. Like give him credit for it. But that is a cool ass tough name. I I think behavior could definitely run that if they ever do run like add sin to the game. Another thing I'd like to mention, her killer theme. A killer theme could be something like the disassembly required thingy with more metal to it. Or I did see on YouTube this guy called Dandy made a concept for the Sin like possible killer theme and main theme like in the menu, and I'll like link that in the description. That also gave me idea for this video. You know, props to Dandy, I guess, because the soundtrack is really good in my opinion, and you definitely should check it out. Now with that out the way, let's conclude this. Now, the likelihood of Glitch and Dead by Daylight collabing is very slim, bro. I'm saying it's slim. It's slimmer than me, gang, and I'm pretty skinny, bro. I'm skinny. I'm like skinnier than whatever your average freaking pipe bomb is. And if they were gonna do a collab, it would have to be like for some reason, like if they were announcing something big for Murder Drones, and they'll have a lot of hype for that, and then they would release the collab. Maybe the hype could be due to maybe a season two of Murder Drones maybe, but that's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. That's the hard truth. But there is a graphic novel coming soon. I'm definitely checking that out. I know they got it announced like months ago. I'm too broke though. So if you guys like this video, please subscribe. Please, this is a new type of content I'm trying out. I've had this idea for quite a bit, and I've been writing the script and research and stuff. So if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, please. And if you want more of this content, please comment down below. Give me suggestions, like possible collabs with Dead by Daylight, or even better, maybe I'll make another Murder Drones video about this. Murder Drones collaboration of Dead by Daylight, and you know, different character. Maybe Sin, maybe N, maybe Uzi. I think N would be the cooler one though. But anyways, subscribe, like, comment, do whatever.